Hey, it's Bill, and you turned into Three Questions and a Song, the podcast where the title explains it all, except for when it doesn't, like tonight. This is episode number 56. With me tonight is Kristian Montgomery and the Winterkill Band. I'm going to struggle with that all night. Especially because I'm looking at your domain name and it's just letters.
Yeah.
All right. So, as I was explaining to you off the air, it's usually three questions that I ask. Tonight's a little different. We're going with five. The first one is an obvious one, so it doesn't count. And it really is just really fast. I'm going to ask, you're going to answer, we're going to move on.
No. All right.
Okay. So, here's the one that doesn't count. Where did the Winterkill Band portion of the band name come from?
All right. So I am an avid hunter of white-tailed deer up here in northern New England and Canada. And about 4 years ago, there was a really bad winter where we had the 3-4 feet of snow. And my friend and I, who's from the local tribal council of one of the tribes up here, he and I stumbled upon about 12 dead yearling deer, and he said, "God, this is going to be one of the worst winter kills we've ever seen." And I just went, "Wow, that's Kristian Montgomery and the Winterkill Band kind of became a metaphor for surviving those cold winters and finding something to do to keep you from, getting too bored."
I like it. I would have never thought that's what it was, but yeah. I will say that if you want to eliminate some white-tailed deer, feel free to come to Pennsylvania because recently, I guess it would have been 2 years ago in October, one ran into, my wife was driving my car. One ran into the passenger side of the car.
Yeah.
And rolled down the whole side of it. And, without looking at it, the body shop told me that they were. It's like, just because there's so much damage and it's a 2003, it's probably totaled. And I'm like, there's 60,000 miles on this 2003. I'm like, it's all just bent metal. So we were really busy because we have 3 kids, and before we could even get it there to look at them, my wife was driving to pick up my daughters in November. And a deer came running out and to the left side of the car.
Yeah. I was taking my son Bobby to soccer practice, and we had a deer that came through the windshield. Like the head was actually like looking at us. And my son Bobby was 4 or 5 at the time. And he was like, "Is he getting in? Is he trying to get in?" And I was like, "No, this isn't what they're supposed to do." And it, but.
Well, I'm actually still driving that car today.
Oh, that's awesome.
My dad, and there's the 1/4 panel could probably use being cut out and new metal put in. Mm-hmm. And there's still a couple dents in the hood, but little dents in the hood. Yep. All said and done, it was like, I think I figured out $350 I spent.
Oh, that's not bad. Wow.
I found 2 new fenders and a headlight on Amazon for, what was it, $160 total. and the fenders were primed, and I had a gift card.
Yeah. Good deal.
But anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about. It's a funny story, though. Hey, first real question, but question number 2. If you could sit down with any band and listen to them talk about their careers and how they got to where they are today, who would you want to sit down with and why?
Oh, gosh. Peter Gabriel. Not that, I mean, well, his band has a few members who are ongoing. I'd love to sit down with Peter and Tony Levin and just be able to pick their brains. I got to see Pete and Sting play like 4 years ago, and when they did the Rock Paper Scissors tour, and the songwriting and the flow of their live shows it's just so dynamic and cool. And I would love to sit down and talk with him, just because the majority of his music is just so emotional that, I mean, there's so much to it. There so many questions would be asked.
So that question, I kind of morphed it. I sometimes theme my questions, and I turned that one into part of my movie themes. And I imagine Forrest Gump sitting on the bench telling stories.
Yeah.
And yeah. So, next question, and then I'll let you, and then we'll do your MTV moment where you get to story tell your song.
Yeah.
What is something that even your most avid fans would be surprised to learn about you?
I cry at the drop of a hat. My daughter says I'm a softie. I get pretty emotional. As a matter of fact, I have a brother who's recently been diagnosed with a pretty severe illness, and I was performing on a talk show on Wednesday and got all teared up. I was playing a song called Peach, and it was a little Texarkana love song. It's not a very emotional song. I mean, it's dripping with misogyny. It was just terrible. And for some reason, halfway through the song, I started choking up, and I got through it. Don't get me wrong, but everybody was like, "Man, like that's like what was my daughter said? It's like listening to "Loving an Elevator" by Aerosmith. And for some reason, having this like wave of emotion come over you, and I'm like, yeah, I'm like, she was like, it just doesn't belong, But yeah, I'm a wicked softie, and I do tend to get a little teary eyed over silly stuff.
I'm the opposite, but I went and watched 3 bands last night for the first time since February of 2020. So it's been over a year. And when the 3rd band started to play, I do their website, and I've known them for at least 20 years.
Yeah.
I teared up, and then I got mad at myself. I'm like, why are you crying? But it was emotional. I haven't been in front of a live act in forever.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm getting on a plane in like 8 hours to go to Tampa. That's where my brother, who's fighting cancer, is down there. And I have, I'm going to be helping him out and everything. And I ended up booking a couple of shows, acoustic gigs, and I'm doing a photo shoot for Rocket Night magazine down there too. And it feels like maybe we're getting back into the swing of things. I was like, oh, this is cool. Okay, maybe it's all coming back. So maybe it'll be better,
We can hope.
Yeah.
I was really, there's a local group that is on their 22nd year of doing festivals that raise money for children that are battling deadly diseases. And they have a big field. It's about half hour from here. With the 40 by 40 stage in it. And I've been to 18 years worth of shows, and I didn't go last year. Mm-hmm. And this week the CDC released more new guidelines that said about the live performances, and as long as you have a mask on, you can be in big crowds. I took it to my wife, and I pointed to that paragraph, and I said, read this. And she did, and she goes, what? I'm like, what does it say? She goes, I'm not telling you what you just read. And I said, here, I'm going to tell you. It says Bill is going to Rock for Life this year.
Oh, that's awesome.
But so what I need from you next is that MTV or VH1 storytellers moment. Tell us a little bit about the song "Don't Call Me Baby."
Okay, so being a product of the 90s, I decided to watch the Alanis Morissette documentary that she released about everything that's happened to her, since Bitter Little Pill. And I went to bed that night and I had this very uncanny but vivid dream that the younger Alanis Morissette had taken me out to the desert to force me to dig my own grave. And I just remember she was shooting me as I was lying there. And after every shot, she would say, "It's okay, baby. It's all right, baby. It's okay." And I was like, Jesus, like, what does it mean? You know, I woke up, I told my wife, I'm like, I had this really messed up dream. And she was like, "You've always known you were going to die at the hands of a woman." And I'm like, yeah, you know, as soon as I said I do, I knew that. But that was the long and short of it. It was kind of this story about, you know, driving out into the Vegas desert, you know, when watching the lights fading from, you know, the neon signs as I got further into the desert and got more nervous, and then Alanis came out of nowhere, and somehow she dropped 25 years and and then proceeded to kill me. So I don't know, you know, I survived 1996. I was promised flashbacks, and maybe that had something to do with it, you know?
I was going to ask you, I think it's Vegas. Isn't that the name of the movie with Robert De Niro and why am I thinking the guy from My Cousin Vinny?
Oh yeah.
Wow, Joe Pesci.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's a scene there where they're out in the desert making people dig their own holes and killing them. And when you told me that, I'm like, he had to have watched that movie before that. I was close. Joe Pesci.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that might have been somewhere in the library. Who knows?
All right, so what we're going to do now, Kristian, is we're going to take a moment and listen to your song, "Don't Call Me Baby," and then we'll come back with a couple more questions, get a little more information out of you.
Awesome.
Those of you that are watching live, you're not actually going to get to hear the song today, but we're recording it today, and it goes out on the website tomorrow because my month ran away on me. Usually I have a little more time, but that means 6 a.m. tomorrow, you can go to buildthescene.com. I promise it'll be there waiting for you. And it'll also air on rootaroораdio.com. I can't remember if it's this week or next week. It's opposite weeks, but we'll figure it out. So we're going to come back in now. Hey, that was "Don't Call Me Baby" by Kristian Montgomery and the Winterkill Band. I made it through it that time.
Yeah, that was great.
All right, so what's going to happen now is Post Profit, who was the last episode's guest, they actually asked 2 questions of you, and I'm going to go ahead and let them ask those. So it's, what kind of bands or artists did you discover during the lockdown for the pandemic, and what are your top 3 songs that you discovered?
Oh, gosh. Well, the first band is a band called the Slow Grass Rollers. Singer Jeff Neely and actually my producer, Joe Clapp, wrote this song called "Be So Good to Everyone You Love." And it was a very, I got to hear it, pre-release. And it's just a very uplifting song, just a really cool tune. And I think anybody who heard it would immediately just feel better about things. The other is Jennifer Teft. We got a pretty tight music scene up here in the Boston area. And she has a song called "Better Days" that she released. There's a music video out for it. And that's another really kind of inspirational, pick you up when you're down kind of vibe. And I think you'd really dig it. She's got a great voice, great singer-songwriter from Boston. And, believe it or not, I'm late to the party on this one, but I've really been getting into Nick Cave. And now the title of the song is escaping me, but he played it with the Australian Symphony Orchestra. And I can't remember the guitar player too, but it was a really cool song, and I'm forgetting the title of it. But a lot of Nick Cave stuff's really, really cool. And if you Google that one, Nick Cave Australian Orchestra, I'm sure it'll come up. I can't remember the name of the damn thing now, but it was great.
I as you know, talking to me for the last 20 minutes, I can't fault you for any of that.
Sorry.
I spent the whole time going, I can't remember. Hold on a second.
Yeah.
I do want to mention, though, since you mentioned the Boston music scene, the pilot episode of this podcast. So even before I started numbering them, very first one was a band called the Cosmic Vultures.
Yeah.
You're familiar with them?
Yeah.
So that was my test episode, and I played it for some friends, and they're like, "Yeah, this is awesome. Do it." So
nice.
So 55 episodes later, I'm back to Boston.
Yeah, good deal. Boston's got a really cool scene. A lot of really good people supporting each other. A lot of people have released some great music this year. I can't say enough about it. There's a little aspect of it that's a little cliquey, but that kind of goes along with any college town, But it's a pretty cool place to play.
So before I forget, why don't you tell the listeners where they can get a hold of your music and find more out about you online?
Oh gosh, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter. Our website is www.kmwkb.com. We just kind of kept that simple.
I messed that up. I'm backwards on my screen. It's over there. Right there you go.
We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook, of course. So you can find us on all of the social media.
There was a second question from Post Profit. I almost forgot.
Yeah.
It was, how did COVID and 2020 in general affect you as a band, and how much progress have you made in 2021? I'm
probably one of the stranger bands when it comes to the plague. I was working on my first record called The Gravel Church, and I was almost done with it, and then the pandemic hit, and so it was I did all of my mixing and back and forth with my producer Joe over the phone and talking to him about what I wanted with mixes and everything, and he just took the ball and went with it. But as soon as we kind of started to feel safe, it was like, well, we can't play live. So I started recording Prince of Poverty, which just came out in March, that Don't Call Me Baby is on. And we found out that we're probably not going to be able to play out for a little bit longer. So I started my third record, which is called Heaven for Heretics. And it is almost done. And so I'll tell you, it's been one of the most creative years of my life. I've been forced to get into my own head and start writing and start really producing albums that I wanted to, that were me. And it kind of helped a lot to separate myself from others. And I think I really put together something that I can be proud of. We're all kind of going back to our roots in this respect, that singer-songwriters are supposed to write songs and sing them. And, so instead of, recording a record and being forced to promote it for 3 years before you write another one, this has been a great time. I mean, you're really finding out who the real, singer-songwriters, recording artists are. Those are, the guys that are in the studio putting out 2 or 3 albums during this plague. It's kind of weeding out those guys who write one great song and sit on their laurels for the rest of the, however long.
I laugh because when you said that, Vanilla Ice popped into my head.
Yeah.
He's still making money off of it. There's a commercial.
Dude, if that song came out right now, maybe he would have written like one more song that might have been good.
He did a metal band for a while. Did you know that?
Oh yeah. I saw that. Yeah. Hey, Vanilla Ice has got his time and place. It's without him, we wouldn't have had, the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC and all those guys. I mean, he was like the forefather of boy bands.
So I know I told you not to worry about a question for the next guest, but yeah. I think together we're gonna piece one together.
Awesome.
All right, so the next guest's name is Judy Rodman. She is an artist and she is a voice coach.
Oh, okay.
And she talks about, I'm just doing a quick flyby on her website right now, which is judyrodman.com. Mm-hmm. And she talks about maximizing your stage and your studio voice and how to conquer strain. She has vocal lessons. She talks about songs for your project, producing vocals, and doing live music performances and speaking. So there's a lot there. And I know I didn't really give you anything specific, but is there a question that you think you might want to ask her about vocals?
I would. I was trained by a professional tenor from the Boston Pops who happened to be my pastor or reverend when I was a boy. And, he introduced me to rock and roll shortly after, singing a couple of hymns in the choir. But he always told me that it was important that when you see the singers hitting those high notes, that they're stretched for it. And he had always told me that was the complete opposite of what you were supposed to do. You were supposed to keep yourself, keep your posture without stretching your vocal cords. You're actually just keeping everything in the same spot, and he also was really cool with the when giving lessons, he would let you find your own voice, your own vibrato, your own style. And I think I would want to ask her, if she's of the same kind of mentality of you have to take what that person's voice gives you and let them kind of make it their own.
The stretching your voice thing, I teach science, and we talk about making high and low pitch sounds, and that's where I actually, when I'm explaining it to them, I have them move their chin up and feel while they're making the high pitch, and then put the chin down and feel when they're making. So I just assumed that was what you were supposed to do.
Yeah, no, apparently you're not supposed to stretch the vocal cords. It's supposed to, you got to keep it loose.
I didn't know that. We'll see what Judy says.
It could be a complete crock. I don't know. I might have just looked really stupid when I was doing the rock star thing, and he was like trying to bring me back down to earth. But.
Well, Kristian, I want to thank you for hanging out with me on episode 56.
Anytime. This was great.
And when that third album comes out, let me know. We'll do it again.
Awesome. That'd be great.
So make sure you check out Kristian Montgomery and the Winterkill Band at kmwkb.com. If you are listening to the podcast or radio version, it will be in the show notes at buildascene.com. If you're watching the video, it's right. I did it again. It's right over there under Kristian. Up next, you're going to hear from Mr. John, the American Hill Jack Lane. He's going to tell you how to subscribe, how to leave comments, and all those things. And we will catch you on the next episode with Judy Rodman.